Yes. Yes. I am back. Let's go. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back. Long time no see. I apologize, guys. I was out, doing my daily life stuff. I had finals because I am a little student myself, so I had some finals, and then I was kind of trying to recover from that. And I was having a little bit of like, I know I'm not a big creator, but I was having some creative block. I was like, dang, what am I gonna do? But I'm back today. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finally give you guys that video of my grades. I'm gonna grade the a little more than the first half of the season with these teams. We just had the All-Star break. I'm recording this February 4th, okay? So when this does come out, it's because I've been trying to edit this, make it look nice. Or I've just been busy doing finals and then trying to start my next semester. But I'm back with the Whaler jersey. Yeah! Told you I'd wear it for you. We got the Rangers one hanging up, we got the Caps one hanging up, and then we got the Columbus Blue Jackets hanging up because that's right, folks. We are doing the Metropolitan Division first. Now, this is one of the East Coast divisions, obviously, in the Metro. And the way I'm going to do this basically is I'm going to give my grades for the team, and I'm just going to go through a little explanation. I'm not going to bore you guys with stats. I'm just going to kind of give you like an upset, a few upsets, maybe some positives, the grade, difficulty of their schedule, and then where they're currently sitting in the standings as of February 1st, okay? Let's go through this. And so I'm starting this in alphabetical by team name. So the first team is the Blue Jackets, Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm not doing it by city. I'm not doing it by abbreviation. I don't know why I picked it like this, but I did. So we are going to start with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the grade I gave them was a D, just a flat D. They're currently sitting with 42 points with the 16, 24, and 10 in the league, which is good for, hang on, for whatever reason I didn't type it down, which is good for 29th in the division, or in the league. Not the division, 29th in the league. And they had the sixth hardest schedule coming into the season, and then from February 1st on out, they have the 14th hardest schedule. So it's going to get a little easier for this team, but you can see a team that's kind of tried to retool, but is in a rebuild that has a rough schedule. That's rough. And then one of the biggest upsets we got is Johnny Gaudreau once again just being pedestrian. Now, you could look and say like, oh, it's a Columbus Blue Jackets thing, but that team was a project when he signed for that team. They were not like they had expectations, but they really kind of didn't at the same time. And he went over there, and then he's kind of just been a no-show. I wouldn't say he's garbage. He's not been excellent by any means, but he's just been a no-show. And then Patrick Laine continues to just have a rough season, continuously hurt, and I just don't think Columbus is the team for him, which sucks because I like Patrick Laine. I think he still has a lot to offer. He's just a really good like scoring wing. Definitely a top six guy. I don't know if he's a first line guy, but he's definitely top six, so he could be playing in your first or second line. And he just needs to be out there. He needs to be protected. He needs to be scoring goals like he does. Change of scenery would be nice for him. Good thing the trade deadline's coming up. Then a big positive is Adam Fantilli has looked pretty freaking good, and the Zach Werenski's been healthy, and then their offseason like acquisitions have been good too. You know, Ivan Provorov's been pretty solid, and then Damon Severson when he's like Damon Severson when he's out in the when he's on the ice, he's been pretty good too. And you know, Elvis Merzlikins has been pretty good. I can't remember their backup. They've had two different ones, but the team's relatively like they're still a rebuilding team because they don't have a lot of depth when it comes through on their offensive side, but their defensive side's been pretty good. And then Merzlikins is still a really good goaltender, hands down my favorite player on that team. Him and Zach Werenski. And then the last part of the grading is I'm going to say if they made the playoffs or if they're going to make the playoffs or not, like my prediction for that. And realistically, the Blue Jackets are looking towards next year, developing the young guys, and then getting a top 10 pick. Let's go. And all right, moving on to the Washington Capitals. Beautiful jersey. I'm going to put them at a C+. They're currently sitting 22nd in the NHL with 51 points, going 22, 18, and 7. They've had the 24th most difficult schedule, so an easier schedule, and now they're going to have the second hardest to finish out. Now, this team is very interesting, especially because Alex Ovechkin is scoring a lot of goals. The whole team doesn't really score a lot of goals, to be honest. I was watching them play the Ducks, and there was some stat like they are 22 something and something when like not 22, but they're like 12 some like it's a ridiculous amount of like when scoring one goal, they have like a really good record and then they score on average about 2 goals a game. So essentially if like Darcy Kemper's having a bad day, like they're gonna lose that game. But Darcy Kemper's been pretty good, and then their backup's also been really good this year too. Um, I guess Kemper's been okay. He's been all right. He's been good enough. They have a bad penalty kill though. That's one of the roughest thing I've had to watch. I watched them when they were playing the Ducks. They did good, but the Ducks kind of suck. And every other time I've seen the Caps, their penalty kills just getting scored on. Like they don't have guys out there to play defense, which is so weird because they don't have guys to play offense either. Injury has killed this team. Ovi's been missing games. Sonny Milano and Rasmus Sundin have been on IR since like January. Oh no, Sonny Milano and Rasmus Sundin have been on the IR. Sundin practiced on the 12th in a non-contact jersey, so maybe he'll be back. That's January 12th, by the way. And then Nicholas Backstrom's on long-term IR after leaving November 8th to focus on some health. He stepped away from the game for a little bit. And then, yeah, like I said, Ovechkin not scoring like he usually does. He's just not. Like, everyone thought this was going to be the year he would break Gretzky's record, and it's not. He's not going to do it this year. If anything, he's going to come back next year, do it. The Capitals probably aren't going to be anything, and then he's going to retire. He's 100% waiting on. He's 100% waiting on that to retire. And then just some of the positives for the team. Again, the team continues to win games despite not being able to score. Goalies are a little bit suspect, but Max Pacioretty's back, and he's playing pretty good. He's been pretty decent since coming back, so we love that because Max Pacioretty's had a really rough past 2 seasons, especially that Canes year. He came back from an injury, then tore his Achilles like 3 games in, just rough. So we like to see Max Pacioretty back on the ice, and we hope he has a great season, or at least I do, because I'm the only person here. And then playoffs, I got them missing, but kind of barely. The Eastern Division is so stacked. There's like 5 or 6 teams that are all within 2 points of each other. So that Eastern Division is just nuts right now. Next, we're going to move on to the Devils. And honestly, I've been rather upset with the Devils this year. Now, I'm giving them an F grade, and this is why. They had the 28th hardest schedule, easy, so 28th hardest, so they're down here at the bottom. And now they have the 4th most difficult the rest of the way. This team has been upsetting. To have guys like Jack Hughes, Tyler Toffoli, Timo Meyer, Nico Hischier, Dougie Hamilton, like that, so many weapons of scoring on this team, and they can't seem to win games. They're average at best. They're sitting 21st in the league right now. They have 51 points. They're 24-20-3, and yeah, it's. So I gave them an F grade. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm giving them an F because they've been out like horrendous. Lindy Ruff, his team is clearly disappointed with all the star power. The penalty kill is 25th in the league when I checked. Could be different. Team's a defensive nightmare. Goaltending has been awful. Vitek Vanacek hasn't been the guy they needed. He's been better. He's been better recently, but he's still not the best guy. They've also cycled through with Nico Dawes and Akira Schmid. They've been splitting some time, and they're going down to Utica to play with the Comets too. So overall, like team just, and I don't know if it's a goaltending problem that's really kind of killing this team, or if it's just a team that can't figure things out. Also, I'm wearing a different hat. I'm wearing a Dodger hat, but it kind of goes with the feel. I just remembered that, it's got my initials on it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Positives for this team, though, is that if they can turn it around and somehow do really good with their 4th most difficult schedule after the All-Star break, they could sneak into the playoffs. I have them missing personally, but that's their one positive, is that they have a pulse and there's a possibility, and that's really all you need. All you need is to get into the playoffs, go on a run. Akira Schmid was pretty good in the playoffs last year too. So you never know. Next, we got the Philadelphia Flyers. Yes, I gave them an A plus. They're currently sitting 15th in the NHL with 54 points, going 25, 19, and 6. And just to like put it into perspective where this team has come from. Last year they finished 26th place with 75 points throughout the whole season, going 31, 38, and 13. This team has turned it around dramatically, I would say. They had the 18th most difficult schedule to start the season. They're going to finish with the 10th most difficult. So it's only going to get harder from them here on out. I think they did pretty good in the first half of the season, and like they should ultimately make the playoffs. They should. I think comfortably, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But honestly, biggest upsets is honestly number one, and a lot of these upsets, like since it's the first episode, I'm just going to explain a lot of these. A lot of these upsets, sometimes they're not hockey related. Sometimes they're off the ice related, or it's all hockey related, but it's not like on ice related. And so this is the Cutter Gauthier situation really got blown out of proportion with a lot of misinformation. They had the Kevin Hayes stuff like, oh, don't play for this team, which isn't true. Kevin Hayes never said that. Kevin Hayes likes Torts. Like, it's not a big deal. It got blown out of proportion. Torts was like, I don't really care. I just want guys that are going to play for us. And people kind of took that the wrong way, too. I think that Torts is just kind of a hard-nosed guy. And he's like, I don't really care. Put people on my bench. I'm going to tell them how to play, and they better play how I want them to play. That's Torts. Like, he kind of just doesn't take anything, one of their guys tried to do a Michigan the other day. That was funny. Torts had a really good response to that. So, this team also has one of the worst power plays in the NHL, but that's not stopping them. So, there you go. Positives for this team. Worst power play, but second best penalty kill. So obviously defense, even though they moved on from Ivan Provorov, they trade for Jamie Drysdale, who's quarterbacking one of their power play teams now. Honestly, but also at the same time, shout out Jamie Drysdale. He didn't get a long time with the Ducks, but he's a solid player. Philadelphia used him properly. I freaking love this guy. I'm so sad we moved on from him, but the trade for Cutter Gauthier is the scorer. The Ducks need that. At the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, so they trade for Jamie Drysdale, and they get him and a second-round pick for Cutter Gauthier, who hadn't signed his entry-level contract, his ELC. He's apparently going to sign that with the Ducks once his college season's over, so that's good. Overall team looks impressive, and it's due to Konechny, Farabee, and gosh dang it, this team. Konechny, Farabee, and Couturier all being healthy and in the lineup at the same time. When they're out on the ice, this team is scary and super close to being the contender. They're close. Lately they've taken a little bit of a backseat due to like Carter Hart left the team for a lot of some scandals. I would say with the Team Canada stuff, and then the S assault. I'm not trying to get stricken down by saying these words by YouTube. So the S assault, reading between that, that went down in Canada a few years ago. They got asked to turn themselves in, and the 5 players did. Carter Hart's one of those guys, so they're going to be missing him. But I do have this team making the playoffs comfortably. I still think they're a very solid team. Up and down, I think Tortorella's a great coach. And when you have young guys that want to listen to a coach, Tortorella's a great coach. That's all that needs to be said. Next, we got the Hurricanes, or the Hartford Whalers. I have them, honestly, with a B+. Now, I think this team should be better, but they do sit 9th in the league with 61 points, going 28, 15, and 5. They had the 21st most difficult start to the season, schedule-wise, and now they have the 15th the rest of the way. So, they had a pretty tough schedule. That's a little bit harder than average for a schedule. They lose a few games going out west, which is just super weird. Like, they lost to the Ducks at home, and that was hilarious for me. As a Ducks fan, I love that. But as a Hurricanes fan, you probably go, that's a team we should beat. Which is, yeah, valid. You should be beating the Ducks. But they don't. And, they're 28, 15, and 5. I expect them to continue to win games. This team's really good. again, they're not as good as I think they should be. There's just every year there's something just super fishy and off with the Hurricanes. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just their lack of a of an it guy. Like when you think about the Hurricane, like how many players can you actually name? Not Hurricane fans. How many non-Hurricane fans can actually name like five players off that team, right? Like you kind of think Sebastian Aho, Freddie Anderson's out there, Antti Ranta, and it's like that. That's kind of the mark of that team. I mean, you can probably name five. They have a bunch of good players. I just think that they should be better. Like there's just something. I look at them and I go, there's something fraudulent about this team. But honestly, biggest upsets, number one thing that has been a letdown for this team is goaltending. Now, Freddie Anderson, it's not his fault. He's got some blood clots. He's out indefinitely. Not his fault, right? He's not the problem. Antti Ranta has looked rough this season. Now last year they were one of the best tandems in the league, and now neither of them are really. Well, Freddie, not his fault once again. But Antti Ranta just looking rough. He got sent down to the AHL this year. The NHL's minor league system. So that's never a good look. Um, yeah. Other than that, the team is unbelievably talented, and their power play has been elite lately. So is their penalty kill. They also have a good amount. They also lost a good amount of games in the West, which I already touched on. Positives for this team: fourth best power play and seventh best penalty kill, as of writing this. And we can see that this team is obviously elite on both sides of the pucks, and that's one thing a lot of the analysts talk about is that this team is defensively sound and they have elite scoring. But again, something weird. Like just mark my words. Mark my words. Something weird about them. It's why they can't ever make it to the final dance. And I don't think it's Brendan Moore's fault. Like he's a good coach. Really good coach. I love fucking. He's a good coach. I love I love him. Um but also Pyotr Kochetkov, if he continues to be like this good at a young age, he's going to be the starting goalie for a long time. He's their future guy, and he just needs to stay healthy. He's another guy that's kind of, with Freddie Anderson, he's kind of suffered a lot of injuries, but as long as he's out on the ice, he's a pretty good goaltender, not going to lie. I got playoffs, most likely for this team. Definitely one of the top. All right. My most disappointing team of the year. No, I'm kidding. Not really. I got the Islanders up next. Okay, because if you're paying attention grade or alphabetically, you would know the Isles were next. I got them as C, solid C. Currently sitting 18th in the league with 52 points. They're going 20, 17, and 12. This team is just so mid. Ever since that year, they got knocked out by the Lightning. I think it was 2021. They got knocked out by the Lightning in the first round, and ever since then, because they were cup contenders back then, ever since then, this team has just been average. Like, they barely get into the playoffs, and then they lose in the first round. Since 2021. It's incredible just how much, like, this team has flopped. And they picked up Bo Horvat, who's been pretty good this year. But yeah, currently sitting 18th in the league, 52 points, 2017 and 12. Another reason why they get a C grade is their jerseys are terrible. Their Stadium Series jerseys suck, and I hate them. 11th toughest schedule to start the season and 13th to finish it out. So if you're looking at a mid-team, guess what? The schedule's going to get a little bit easier, but ultimately they're sitting roughly in the same place. So if this team continues to be middle of the pack, they're probably just going to squeak in with the wild card, but we'll get to that. Biggest upsets, awful penalty kill. There's nothing out, like, no way around that. Their defense has been terrible. Noah Dobson and Alexander Romanov have been great, but that's about it. Everything else has been terrible. Their offense is stagnant. Brock Nelson is their goal leader with 19 goals, and they have a goal differential of negative 18 at the time of this. At the time of me typing this, honestly, it would, like, the negative 18 goal differential would be higher if not for their goalies, which is going to segue perfectly into the positives. Their goalies, despite their record, these two goalies continue to put in work. Samsonov and Varlamov are great goaltenders, and they continue to be great goaltenders, and they continue to be the best thing for this team. But also, Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal have been great this year, which we always love to see. Matt Barzal should be their star player. I just hope that we can see some more production from him coming down the line. The schedule does get a little easier, so you never know. And then for my playoffs for this team, I literally wrote down this team is the Steelers of the NHL, a team that doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs, but somehow gets into playoffs every year. And then they wonder why they never get better. It's because they keep like just minimally overachieving, making the playoffs, ruining their draft, not being able to grow prospects, and they just do it every year. So yeah, literally Steelers in the NHL. They're just a team that doesn't scream playoffs to me. So no, I don't think they'll make it this year. Next, we're gonna get the Penguins, and I got the Penguins with the D right now. This team should be so much better. They're 51 points right now. Okay, 22, 17, and 7, which is pretty good. But they're 20th in the NHL. And like I said, the East is the wild card is so clustered towards the end. It's going to be the Eastern Conference is going to be the place to watch for playoff races. So that should be interesting. That'll be fun. They had the 26th most difficult schedule to start the season, and they went 22, 17, and 7. They have the 6th hardest schedule to finish the season. So it's only going to get rougher for this team down the line, which is not good because they haven't been good. Just like I said, biggest upset, this team has been the whole team. The whole team has been upsetting. They started the season off horribly. Ricard Raquel, former Duck, which is what I'm going to talk about, didn't score a goal till December 23rd. It's like 3 months. That's like 2 months into the season. Kyle Dubas traded for Erik Karlsson at the beginning of the year. Within 25 games of the season, they went 11, 11, and 3, which was 7th in the Metro, which was not expected when you have Sid the Kid, Evgeny Malkin, Jake Gensel, Erik Karlsson, and Chris Letang. An older core, but yet a core like that, you would expect more. Now you would think like, okay, so those are some older guys, and EK is worth 12 mil a year, and they traded for him, and he's playing pretty good. Like those guys that I just named are playing pretty good, but they don't really have anything else going for them outside of that. This team is literally just those 6 guys, 5 guys. Well, I guess 6. Let's throw Tristan Jarry in there. He's been pretty solid this year. It's these 6 guys, and that's it. This team doesn't really have any more. They don't have like anything else going for them. So if these 6 guys have a bad night, they're losing, and they've been having a lot of bad nights apparently. Actually, that's not true. They have a winning record, and I think that's realistically due to Tristan Jarry, which is who I'm about to talk about right now. He's honestly been one of their biggest positives of the season. He's been exceptional, and even more impressive has been the fact that he's been healthy. Okay, Tristan Jarry is known for being rather injury prone, and so when they signed him again and they put I think it was like a 5-year contract on him, I was a little worried. I was like, man, that's probably gonna backfire. But hey, he's been pretty solid. He's been pretty good this year. And that's what this team needs. And also Alex Nedeljkovic has been having a sneakily good year too. Defense has been pretty good in front of him. Now the playoffs, this team they would need to make a move at the deadline for them to make the playoffs. Honestly, this team would have to make a move. The only problem with that is this team has 2.87 million in cap space. So what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to flip a star and hope that somebody's willing to give prospects up for an older guy, which isn't going to happen, I don't think. A lot of people like to talk about where's Chris Letang or Jake Gensel going to play. I think Jake Gensel's the more talked about player. He's younger. But yeah, I don't think you're going to get a lot for it. And again, 2.8 mil in cap. Jaromir Jagr's technically not retired. Bring him back. Next, we're going to move on to the Rangers. A+. Immediately, A+. This team is solid. I watched them play my first Ducks game of the year, second hockey game of this season. First Ducks game of the year, I watched the Rangers play with a few of my friends, and let's just say it was fun until the third period because the Rangers absolutely took over. I think they had Shesty in net against the Ducks, and he started shaky, but then turned it up really good. This team is just a complete team. What can I say? Honestly, one of the best teams in the league. They're 5th in the league right now, or at the time of me typing this. 28, 13, and 2. 58 points. They're 1st in their division. They had the 19th most difficult schedule to start the year. So not hard. not hard by any measure. That's above like I guess average on easy. So the rather easy schedule. They have the 21st most difficult schedule to finish. So it's only going to get easier for them down the line. The, good for this team. I mean, and again they had like a rough start to the season. Like their first 10 maybe was kind of like weird, and Shesterkin was like kind of weird. But I genuinely, and I typed this down. I genuinely Googled if they had to work on anything, and nothing after December of 2023 popped up. Nuts, absolutely nuts. And the positives. Can I just say the whole team? Can I just say the whole? Can I just say the whole team? We're not gonna. Well, we are gonna say the whole team, but also let's give a shout out to Jonathan Quick. He's not a king anymore, so I can be nice to him. Jonathan Quick has been playing out of his mind. Dude's been on another level for no freaking reason. Dude is like 38 or something like that, and he has just been looking like prime Johnny Quick out there. But it's also probably because he's not taking the load of games, so he's still elite. He's more rested, and he's still elite. Like it's crazy. Jonathan Quick, man, congrats, comeback player of the year, if not anything else, right? Or at least they're gonna win like tandem of the year. That's gonna be good. Shesterkin's still Shesty. Nothing new about that. One of the best goaltenders in the league. Their power play is second in the league. Penalty kill isn't too bad either. And then Artemi Panarin. When we went to that game, Ducks Rangers, Artemi Panarin had a sick power play goal. And yeah, I want the Ducks to be like that. Playoff team for sure. They're gonna win their division. And then if you guys have been keeping up with the alphabet, that's gonna wrap it up for the Metropolitan Division. Guys, tell me down below who do you think's going to make the playoffs, and then give me your grades for the Metropolitan Division. Okay, I want to hear what you guys have to say. What are your favorite teams looking like? Are your favorite teams in the Metropolitan Division? Just let me know what's up. Then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Always comment down below, guys. Tell me what's up. If you guys have jersey concepts you want me to take a look at, email it to me. The email is always down in the description. And yeah, that's it. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your month. Have a great rest of your year. Have a great rest of your life. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you later.